In the midsummer of 2018, the Rays and Pirates would make a trade that would again prove the Rays to be a team that knows when to trade stars at the right time to get younger prospects that will develop. This case remained true when they made a decision to trade ace Chris Archer to the Pittsburgh Pirates in return for Tyler Glasnow, Austin Meadows, and a player later to be named that was Shane Baz. To lay the groundwork for why this trade was so crazy at the time, we have to start with Chris Archer. Chris Archer, who was a two-time All-Star in his time with the Rays, both in 2015 and just the year before he was traded in 2017, he became a very big part of this Rays pitching staff. He even finished 5th in Cy Young voting in 2015. But with young pitchers like Blake Snell proving to be just as good and sometimes more reliable, as Blake Snell went on to win the Cy Young in 2018, the same year Chris Archer left, the Rays clearly thought it was time to move on from Archer. When trying to find a possible home for Archer, the Rays would land on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates, who finished 75 and 87, finished 4th in the NL Central and were looking to 2018 as the year to make a postseason push. In the first half of the 2018 season proved somewhat promising for the Pirates as they looked to avoid missing the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Then Pirates general manager Neil Huntington thought during the All-Star break that Chris Archer would be the piece to finally complete this postseason puzzle. So he pulled the trigger. When Archer finally became a Pirate, he would be average at best. He had a 4.30 ERA with 52.1 innings pitched. He'd get 60 strikeouts while giving up 53 hits, 27 runs, and 8 home runs. This obviously wasn't what the Pirates were looking for in a pitcher that was supposed to help them achieve a postseason run, and they would miss the postseason for the 3rd consecutive year. The Rays, however, would get a massive win out of this trade. As mentioned earlier, Blake Snell becomes the ace of this team, absolutely shreds batters, and wins the Cy Young. To only add to the good news for the Rays, Austin Meadows would be promoted to the Rays September 19, 2018, and would go on a tear, finishing his short stint with 6 home runs and 17 RBIs in just over 59 games. Austin Meadows didn't slow down in 2019 either, and would go on to make the All-Star game. Tyler Glasnow would also be a key part of the Rays and would start the 2019 season 5-0 with a 1.75 ERA. He was then named American League Pitcher of the Month before straining his arm against the Yankees, which would keep him on the IL until September, where he'd come back and looked all the same for 4 more 5 or less inning starts to finish the 2019 campaign with a 5-1 record and a 4.08 ERA in 11 starts. Shane Baz was acquired while rehabbing off injury from the Pirates, and while when he did play, he made a promising start, pitching 3 games for the Rays in 2021, getting 2 wins and a 2.03 ERA. He would come back in 2022 to play 6 games with an ERA of 5, but would get injured again and receive Tommy John surgery, which would keep him sidelined until 2024. And he has still yet to get a full season with the Rays as of 4/1/24. The Pirates, who had a postseason run in mind from this trade, seemed to be the ones that supplied the needed players to the Rays for their postseason dreams, as the Rays would unfortunately fall short of a 2018 postseason despite having 90 wins and 72 losses, but they would get their first winning season since 2013. The Rays would then make the 2019 postseason and lose to the Astros in the ALDS, and through inching closer and closer would finally break through and play the Dodgers in the 2020 World Series, where the infamous Blake Snell incident would happen, which many would argue lost them the World Series. The Rays have since then made the postseason every year since 2019 and clearly aren't slowing down, while the Pirates have continued to struggle to find a way to make their way into that postseason. What makes this trade all the more crazy is when Archer didn't perform to what the Pirates wanted, they declined his club option in 2021, making him a free agent for the first time in his career. And the team that picked him up out of free agency? None other than his former team, the Tampa Bay Rays. Despite the fact that he didn't do all that great with the Rays the second time around, the Rays got an all-star outfielder in Austin Meadows, a young star pitcher in Tyler Glasnow, and what seems to be a very promising star in Shane Baz. They would then go on to trade away Austin Meadows for young prospects, and trade away Tyler Glasnow to the Dodgers for young prospects to continue their postseason run and see what they can continue to build. And to top off all those trades, they would get Chris Archer back from the Pirates when they pick him up out of free agency making this the greatest finesse in MLB history.